Gundo Mmbi, School Achievement Manager at Spark Schools, joins us now for a conversation on this award and the efforts behind it. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Tell us about the concept first of Spark Schools. As I mentioned, it's a network, but what do you define as affordable competitive education when you undertook this dream?
Good evening, Tabiso and viewers. Spark Schools is a network of schools that serves above 10,000 scholars. We believe in accessible education. Our mission is to make sure that we're providing education at an affordable price. And one of the mission is that we believe that South Africa will lead global education. As a sector of private schools, it's affordable, it's accessible. We believe in the right for education for all kids in South Africa. And what we've been doing is trailblazing the educational landscape through blended learning, where we have integrated face-to-face learning and actual computers where the kids go and independently interact with our online product and actually further their studies as well. So we truly believe in also professional development, where we're developing our teachers. We are about 21 schools currently in South Africa, and we have 2 schools in the Western Cape, which is Spark Blue Downs Primary and Spark Blue Downs High School. So it's quite an incredible network of schools with a lot of positive change that is happening in the country at the moment.
And speaking about change, I'm always fascinated about education, learning, and the pedagogical changes we've seen. So since the inception in 2012, the indicators that were there in terms of your desired goal of disrupting the crisis in South African education, and what has happened with COVID and post that, are you achieving that? What has also changed in the landscape?
So since COVID, I think COVID as a country exposed a lot of what we were missing, which was blended learning. When education face-to-face instruction with the teacher in front of you every day was disrupted, we had to quickly move. But Spark School was founded already in 2012, and that has we started with blended learning, which allowed us to actually be able to educate our kids even through COVID-19 and actually make sure that education is not disrupted. I think that there is a lot to learn from what we're doing at Spark Schools, where we are integrating technology into the mix, and there is a lot of takeaways. But one of the data point that shows is that a teacher is not the source of all the information, and we need to move with the time. As you know, we are on the 4th industrial revolution at the moment, and it is important that as a country we move with the times, and hence Spark Soweto winning this global award actually means a lot for the community of Soweto, knowing that Soweto was previously disadvantaged. Having a school like Spark Schools and Spark Soweto particularly is quite a transformative move and really a positive thing for us to be recognized globally, but also to move in the right direction when it comes to technology. It cannot be separated. Education needs to move with the time and evolve. Yes, we used to use chalks and paper and all of that, but time is changing, and it's time for us to move with the time. And Spark Schools has been one of the trailblazers and the drivers of blended learning in South Africa at the moment.
As you've been recognized as society shapers that you've just explained to us, but go a little deeper for us to understand beyond the jargon, being named World's Best School by T4 Education. What is T4 Education? And your partnership with Templeton World Charity Foundation, Accenture and American Express. How did that come about? What do they offer? What do you benefit from it?
So T4 is an organization, it's an education organization that works with global schools where they collect best practice, which means identifying best teachers, best things that are happening in the world in regard to education. They're quite transformative. It's about quality education and actually moving the times forward. So what this means for us is quite a big deal. And that started, I think, for Soweto when it was established in 2019, and they chose the core value, which was Ubuntu. So Spark basically stands for service, persistent achievement, responsibility, and kindness. But you are meant to choose a 6th core value. So we chose Ubuntu because we believe that Umuntu ngabatu. So that meant that that we had to work with the community, and that was embedded in all the work that we had to do. So one of the things that we did was first identify what the community in that area needed. And one of them was the first move, which was hashtag Keep Protea Glen Clean movement, which basically meant us getting concrete bins around every corner, making sure that the streets are clean. And this is what happened when we got to the community in 2019. From there, we identified crises like GBV, where some of our kids are seeing this happen in their households. It is a pandemic in this country, as we know. So we then said, we are teachers, we can educate our kids. So what we did was we taught our kids what it means. We taught them about counseling. We taught them how to actually cope. How do you use your words, and how do you actually stand up for the right thing? And then we decided that in the school, it's not enough change. We need to take it out to the community. So we took it out to the community, where our kids will go have talks with other kids, be able to tell them, okay, how do you cope? How do you get in contact with social development? What is it that you can do? Your rights as a child and all of that. And then I think in 2020 and 2021, we were actually inspired by a student who stood up against bullying, and then we were quite devastated when we remember Rufuno in Mmbi, who passed away through bullying. And the kids were like, we want to do something. We want to talk to our peers, we want to talk to our friends that bullying is a pandemic that they're experiencing in schools. So therefore, we then decided to create a movement and a march. It was big, joined by other local schools in Protea Glen, and just make sure that the message is out and declare the schools bully-free zones, which really, really has helped. So this means a lot for us as a community. It means a lot for us as a school. It means a lot for us as a parents. But what the school has done and achieved, and the team has done and achieved, has been tremendous, because they decided that they could not just learn in the premises or in that environment of their classrooms. They then say education needs to go out. I mean, we have a partnership with IEC as well, where we're teaching kids about voting. What does it mean to be a responsible citizen in South Africa through making a change by using your voice? So they know about voting, and we're hoping that when they grow up to be adults who are responsible and will be able to make some necessary change.
And I can certainly see why.
In this country.
I can certainly see why you would have won this award, because it is groundbreaking in the sense that you, as you've told it, that you have been able to achieve it. But I am wondering what the challenges were in taking the community along with you in terms of the value creeds that you get your students to espouse, because we still live in an unequal society with high levels of crime and violence, as you say, and some people are just not interested and educated, but you're using it as a vehicle to resolve the challenges of the whole community, to say we are one in this. How are you able to take them along with you initially, and what are some of the residual problems that you face?
I think we opened Spark Soweto in 2019, and I think one of the challenges would be being able to educate and being able to ask people to learn and unlearn certain things, and just understanding that kids we really need to make sure that the kids are a priority. And I think just having that conversation with the community to say we want kids who are going to grow up to go to university, as our Spark Daily Creed would say, but also just showing them the benefit that comes with all of us working together in a triangle. And by triangle, I mean, when you have a parent, you have a community, and then you have the schools, there's a greater change that can come from that. And just explaining how that triangle can actually raise responsible citizens, but also making sure that the kids are coping in such a way that they are teaching, not just, we're not just the only ones who teach the kids, but we are also learning certain things from the kids and raising leaders that we want to see. We are crying as a country currently through a lot of things that you're mentioning, crimes and all of that. But we want the next generation to have the right tools and necessary things that they're going to get to actually lead us. And I think when you sell it from that point of view, every parent is like, I want my child to be that change maker. I want my child to be that trailblazer. And that's what we did to actually get buy-in from the community and the parents.